I was watching another podcast. They have Floyd Mayweather on there. And it was dope because first and foremost, I don't really see Floyd on like a
I
bunch
used
of
to hate Floyd.
podcasts. Right. And I watched this. I never hated him because I kind of understood a little bit. You know what I mean? You understand marketing, you understand like,
I did.
brands and shit like
Yeah.
that. And so then this was probably the most vulnerable, like essentially that I've seen him on a podcast. And it was funny because they was talking about, how it was dope, like now on the airplane, like when you go fly, commercial or whatever, you can, I guess your boarding passes on your phone and stuff, right? And he was sitting there lost. He was confused, and they was like, Floyd, when the last time you flew commercial? And he was kind of like stuck, you know what I mean? And but the point to it was he was saying that a lot of people don't like him in a sense because they think that he's flashy. And he's like, and I'm not flashy. He was like, because like I really live this way. But when I post about how what I do, like it's so outlandish to some people that I
They think
seem
it's
flashy.
flashy.
And he's like, and it's not, to me, it's not. You know what I mean? And he literally gets on the phone, bro, because it was like, well, how do you coordinate like, your trips? Like, what does that look like for you? And like someone hands him a phone, bro, and he's like on the phone with the pilot to his jet, and he's just like, "Remember, I told you, you're gonna go over here, you're gonna pick so and so up." They like, "Oh, it's gonna be about an hour. We'll go grab them." He was like, "Then y'all come scoop, da da da." Then I got y'all tickets to come do this, and they just like, and he's like, "I've been flying private jet like forever." So you know what I mean? So he was kind of like laughing, and he was like kind of lost when they was talking about the flying commercial because he just hasn't done that in years. You know what I mean? And he was just like, he brought up Warren Buffett. And he's like, I got like probably like 2 jets. You know what I mean? He was like, and Warren Buffett had like 500 and some odd jets.
Yeah, it was a jet company.
So he's like, to me, like that's wild.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's what I'm around. You know what I mean? And he was just talking about like that type of stuff and just like what makes him do the things that he does, and really just going over just Forbes, they have no idea how much I'm really worth. They may say 1.2 billion, but they don't know what I got in Dubai, Japan, worldwide. I'm sitting there thinking like, fuck.
I mean, bro, he's an amazing marketer.
Yeah.
And so I used to hate Floyd like this. So this is college Stratton Brown who thinks the world should be ideal.
Yeah.
Right? Because like, well, he flashes and spends all this money when he could be donating all this money to help people in inner cities.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of other, like, why is it his job to spend his money on that?
And that's what he said.
Number one, when we pay all this money in taxes.
Yeah.
Like, that should be doing something when it does nothing. Mm-hmm. Number two, it's his life. Mm-hmm. Number three, it's his fucking life. Right?
Yeah.
So we're like now, like where I'm at. Yeah, and I'm sure he donates tons of money to charities, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to avoid taxes somehow.
He said that he's hated on, in the sense of like his 2 biggest critics. He was like, is like my people, black people. He was like, and white folks. And he was like, and the crazy thing is I do a lot of the stuff that I do was, for my people. You know what I mean? But he's like, but I can't complain because, he was like, they asked him like, so when are you going to settle down in a way? Like, when you going to just retire? He's like, I am retired.
Right?
And
like, bro,
he's like, how come no one asked Warren Buffett, when he going to stop? He's like, why is it like as athletes, when we retire and we do something else, they ask us like, when are you going to settle down? He's like, no one asked Warren Buffett when he going to settle down. But since I'm done with sports, like I'm supposed to settle down. And I was like, damn, that's deep as hell. Because it's true. I mean, my man's just made so much money. He's like, I ain't got to put my name on everything. He was like, because some people, he's like, it may fuck something up because I put my name on it just because people just don't like me. He was like, but I'm involved in so much that, and as he's going, bro, in my mind, I'm thinking like, this dude is like, he's up there with like the Warren Buffetts and shit like that. Like,
I mean, he's up there with Warren Buffett.
Not a lot of people are. But I mean, bro, when he's sitting there talking about, he going out there for a fight or something like that, and he's chilling in the locker room, and he's fucking sitting there chopping it up with Warren Buffett. Like, let's be real, Warren Buffett don't just be chilling with
Right, he
nobody.
don't talk to anybody.
You know what I'm saying? But like, it seemed like they like be chatting it up all the time. You know what I mean? So like, it's not like he just in a room with Warren Buffett, but he ain't nowhere near the capacity of that.
I mean, once you hit $1 billion, bro, you're in a completely
That we know about.
Well, once you hit $1 billion, you're in a different group. Mm-hmm. Like that's a completely different arena. New doors open into where, like, really, okay, what is there? let's say there's like 1,000. I think let's say there's 3,000 of them in the world. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, you're in a very, very select club of very. I mean, even though Floyd can't read, bro, he's a smart dude.
Yeah, he has good people around him.
Right?
And he dropped the line. He was like, he mentioned. Matter of fact, I took a little screenshot because someone had posted it, and I was like, "Dog, that's dope." Because they asked him about like, how does he even like know about like a lot of the things that he does and stuff like that. And he said like a little quote about it, and I was like, "Bro, that's fucking awesome." And if I can find it, that's what's gonna be crazy. He said, "You sit, you learn." He said, "You sit, you listen, you learn. There's only 3 ways you can learn: hearing, seeing, and doing." And it was like, he was like, and I just happen to be good at all 3 of them. You know what I mean? So the rooms that he sits in, you know, you listen, you watch, you learn. Someone show you, do it. And he was all about generational wealth and cutting his kids off. He's like, I've cut my kids off in a sense of just because I do this for a longer generation than just me. And he was like, and his fear really is that when he's
kids,
gone,
bro.
is his grandkids, his great grandkids. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, so I had to tell them, like, I'm cutting them off with just handouts that they need to go start. And he'll tell them, like, bro, like, you know, him being so in the loop with a lot of things. Like, he's like, and I'll front whatever business they want to venture that they want to get into. But I need them to learn how to do that.
Yeah.
So they can be that for the next generation.